Rikuhachima Aru. She's the self-proclaimed president of a certain club in Guyana, the Problem Solver 68. Wishing to be a cool outlaw, Aru extended the Problem Solver 68 world permission, and along with Butsiki, Kayoko, and Haruka, they are conducting various illegal activities under the prefect team's Moses. She may appear as a threatening, cunning villain, but that's actually just her facade. She often loses her cool and starts panicking whenever something goes wrong. And that's why people love her dorkiness. In this guide video, I'll tell you everything about Aru as well as her capabilities as an explosive sniper striker. We're also going to discuss what to prioritize in building her. Dear fellow Aru believers, we're about to go kaboom! Yes, Rikuhachima! Kaboom! To start off, let's discuss her role. She's a striker who wields a sniper rifle, deals explosive damage, and has light armor. She gets a damage boost in urban areas, deals neutral damage in outdoor fields, and reduced damage indoors. But first, let's briefly discuss the sniper rifle archetype. Unlike assault rifles, sniper rifles have high damage output per shot but a high attack interval. At 3-star level 75, Aru has 3,479 attack, 94 defense, 16,866 HP, 201 crit rate, and a firing range of 750, which is the standard range for SR strikers. Increasing her stars will significantly improve her stats, especially your attack, which will cap at 4,363 at level 75. In comparison stat-wise, her attack is currently the second highest among explosive SR users, Loli Shun having higher by 473, Shun having lower by 439, Mashiro having lower by 797, and Summer Eerie lower by 169. Does this make Aru the strongest amongst all sniper rifle users? We will discuss that in a bit. Next, let's discuss her skills. Her EX skill is called Hard-Boiled Shot. This 4-cost EX skill deals a significant amount of damage, from 274% to 521% at level 5 on a single enemy, and then deals an additional instance of damage from 292% to 554% at level 5 to enemies in a singular area around the target. This skill is very useful in mob sweeping as well as boss sniping. Her normal or basic skill is called Noir Attack. For every 25 seconds, Aru deals a huge amount of damage to an enemy, and there's a 50-50 chance of inflicting another instance of damage in a circular area. Basically, it's a mini hard-boiled shot. Her enhanced skill is called the Gravity of a Boss. This basically enhances her crit damage by 14% to 26.6%. Take note that the total crit damage is calculated by subtracting the attacker's crit damage to the target's crit damage resistance. This formula is also applied in calculating the total crit rate. Her sub-skill is called the Way of the Outlaw. Just like her adoration towards being a cool outlaw, this skill enhances her EX skill hit rate by 20.1% to 38.3%. As for her skill priority, go for the EX skill first, then passive skill, enhanced, and then basic. Since Aru's kit revolves around her EX skill, increasing the damage percentage of her EX skill takes high priority, followed by her EX skill, crit consistency, and then the rest. Another reason for this order of priority lies in her equipment. Aru's equipment is composed of a hat, a hairpin, and a watch. In tier 4 and above, the hat and the watch gives you a lot of crit damage. This is the reason why raising Aru's enhanced skill takes lower priority. Raising Aru's equipment for crit damage is cheaper and faster than farming for skill books and materials to raise her enhanced skill. For Aru's equipment priority, always go for the hat, then the watch, and then the hairpin. The hat gives attack and critical damage at tier 4 and above. Meanwhile, the watch gives crit rate, crit damage at tier 4, and max HP at tier 5. The hairpin only gives max HP and CC resistance at tier 4. The hairpin increases Aru's survivability, but since she is always at the back and prioritizes cover, it's better to work on her attack and her crits first. At the time of making this video, the unique equipment system has yet to be implemented in the global version. I will discuss it regardless. Getting it to 2 stars upgrades her passive skill, Gravity of a Boss, to a Gravity of a Boss Plus. Aside for the crit damage buff, this upgraded skill gives an additional flat critical damage from 2000 to 3800. The 3-star upgrade sets her Urban Affinity to SS, which changes her damage modifier from 100% to 130% and improves her cover effectiveness from 60% to 75%. However, the unique equipment is only available once you raise your student's rarity to 5-star. In order to do so, you'd need 220 of Aru's Eligma. Currently, there are no hard stages that drop Aru's Eligma, so you'll probably need to gather a lot of Eligmas. What's Eligma, you might ask? Eligma Raising Aru's sniper rifle to 2 stars requires 130 of her shards, while 3 stars requires 180. Quite a number, but a real Aru Supremacist would easily reach this far. Can't be me. Now, for the verdict. Is Aru actually good? Before we decide, let's point out her strengths and weaknesses. Her damage output is really impressive. As a sniper, she can deal an immense amount of damage to a single enemy and to everyone who is near the target. She's more than capable of clearing stages with red and even yellow armored enemies. With that said, we could say that she's very powerful in PvE and Red Raid. So, what are her downsides? Since she's a sniper, her AI is designed to find cover first before shooting. And because of that, she may waste a lot of time getting to cover instead of taking the opportunity to take down a target. Another downside of Aru is not really centered on her but rather on the game itself. Players call it overkilling. It is a phenomenon when an enemy is already down but your units are still targeting that enemy. Overkilling is a very common scenario, especially on snipers who have a high attack interval. We cannot avoid your units overkilling with the normal skills, but we can do so when using their EX skills. Lastly, her capability of dealing damage against multiple enemies. Yes, sure, her EX skill has another instance of damage that hits everyone near the target, but as you go along with your campaign, you'll notice that her EX skill's AoE is rather small, especially on waves where enemies are more spread out. However, if you want to deal damage against multiple enemies, considering bring along Hibiki, Utsuki, Are, Hina, or Koharu. Let's compare Aru with other SR strikers. While Shun is considered the PvP god because of her startup cost skill and her EX skill, which lets her snipe enemies hiding at the back due to the increased attack range, Aru on the other hand can do such a thing, but rather she targets the closest enemy. Mashiro is an SR specialist that has a wider range compared to SR strikers. However, although her EX skill deals a considerable amount of damage, it's RNG based. Loli Shun on the other hand deals an immense amount of damage with your EX skill, but according to her sub-skill, he will decrease her own attack for 20 seconds after activating her EX skill, but after that, she will increase her attack for 20 seconds. Unlike Aru, Loli Shun doesn't have any capability to deal AoE damage and her EX skill cost is 5, which is considerably high. Overall, is Aru actually good? Of course, the Aru Supremacy is real. She's a very good explosive damage dealer with a few limitations. To fill out what Aru can't do, I highly suggest bringing other damage dealers like Sarika, Hibiki, Are, Shiroko, and other explosive strikers and specials. Tanks like Amy, Yuka, Natsu, and Tsubaki are essential to keep the aggro away from Aru. And to increase Aru's damage output, consider having Kotama, Akane, Ako, Tomoe, and other offensive supports with her. And that's it for Aru's guide video. In conclusion, Aru is a great sniper that can deal a lot of damage to a single target and to everyone that happens to be near the area. She has a few downsides which can be easily filled by having another damage dealer alongside her. So, what student should I showcase next? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Don't forget to drop your credit card information and the 3 numbers at the back. And to offer your soul to your almighty god Rikuhachima Aru. Wait, I don't remember writing this one. Also, if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, you'll sub now for more of my content. And follow my Twitch on twitch.tv/tomogumodu. That's it for now, and see you next time.